All right, so let's get started. All right, Drew, I'm ready for you to switch the slide. Thank you. So how these work, and I think that we are all first time to our Meet the Team sessions, we do go through a roundtable of our team, getting to know a little bit more about the human side of Helping Hands. Most people that come to these sessions already have a fairly good idea of how Helping Hands works together as a team and what to expect in terms of service. But most people want to know the faces. So you'll get to meet a little bit about us. Please feel free to write in the chat a little bit more about yourself as we go through. We'd love to know where you are in this journey, if you've already had your baby, if you're currently expecting or you're planning a family, whereabouts you're located, and what you're most interested in finding out tonight. So whether that is you want to learn, I don't know, things that doulas do on their off hours or something about us, of our nature, just let us know. Then we'll go into question and answer. So you can ask any question that you have about this life phase, whether it's about pregnancy, birth, or postpartum, or ask a question to the doulas. We love people. We'd love to chat with you. And then we have our breakout rooms. So what our breakout rooms are all about, this is a session that is part of the session that is not recorded. You're able to ask all of your burning questions and really get to meet, the warmness of the human side of Helping Hands. So let's get started. All right, Drew, I'm ready. Okay, so the first person is myself. I am a birth and postpartum doula here at Helping Hands, as well as one of the owners of Helping Hands. So I am here to help support our doula team as well. And one of the biggest questions that I have gotten for years and years doing this work is, how did you get into this? Why did you choose the doula field? And there's many different paths that come to mind when I think about my story and where I got started, but I had no idea that doulas existed. I did not have any children of my own, but I did have a lot of birth experience. So I started getting asked by friends and family members to come and just be present with them during the end of their pregnancy, at the day of their birth, and then as well the first few weeks postpartum. And I really had no training or no knowledge of what to do. I was just there as a calm presence in the room. So after finishing university and a health science degree, I was like, what the heck am I going to do with my life? I do not want to do any of the things I learned about in university. I wanted to do something that was really going to help people, that wasn't really necessarily healthcare. So with learning a little bit more about midwifery, I decided to look into those next steps and learned that there is a profession called doulas. And doulas are both birth and postpartum, depending on where the specialization is. And the focus is all the non-medical stuff. So all the transitional things, all the stuff that is not really in a guidebook, or having that personal support to walk through the biggest transition of someone's life, to be able to walk through and help people figure it out. And that was something I was called to at a very young age. I just didn't know that it existed. So this has been a very long time. I've been supporting families. I don't count the ages of 15 and beyond that I started supporting families, because I had no training. So I was really just there as an extra person. Now, being there to help people know what is going to be happening next, what your body might be experiencing, how your partner can help support you, how can we stay calm? All of these questions you can ask your care provider are all things that really help to enhance the value. And you'll see that with our team members too. So that's why I became a doula, and that was some time ago. The other question that we get asked a lot is, what keeps you doing this? The burnout rate for doulas tends to be about 2 to 3 years. And I think the reason for that is you're on call a lot of the time. You're meeting new families and supporting them, but then, they, just like Mary Poppins flies into a house and then flies out, you move on to your next family. And that does require some emotional competency or intelligence, but it's also a heavy load to take on yourself. So something that keeps me in this field is now, as you can see, we work as a team. So having that ability to turn your brain off as a doula, recharge, spend time with our own families. It's all very important. That's what keeps me here. But the real big thing is the compassionate care, the helping people through times that are really pleasant and beautiful, and things that people that don't maybe know what this work looks like, they think it's all, you know, unicorns and rainbows because it's all babies. How could that not be a hard field? But I think a lot of us really lean into that. We like supporting people when it's not all rainbows, but we want to help to try to find that, or to help the sunshine bright. So that's what keeps a lot of people in this work here. And that's definitely something for myself. We like to share something either funny that's happened in doula work, or something that we find we do outside of this work. So something funny, I'm trying to think of something that's happened recently. For those that have never had a baby before, and just to raise your hand on the screen, are we all first-time parents? Yeah, okay, that's really exciting. So there's a lot to learn. And something that I witnessed with the new family just a few weeks ago was the first diaper with something called meconium. And meconium is unlike any poop you've ever seen before. It's sticky, it's black, green color, it's like tar. And I was walking through new parents to do the first diaper change. They were so excited that baby pooped at home, really big news, except for they didn't realize that once a baby poops, they can continue to poop even during the diaper change. And that's pretty common when you let that airflow come in. It kind of wakes up that whole area to just release. And both parents ended up getting that sticky tar stuff all over their arms. And we had a good laugh about it. But for me, like those type of moments, but being welcomed into a very intimate period of time with families is very special, but obviously very funny for me too. My favorite thing to do when I'm not doulaing is definitely being outside. I have booked 3 cottage experiences with friends or family for this summer, and I'm so excited. And I happen to know someone very close to me that has a cottage that lets me come for the ride. So that's something I'm definitely looking forward to. Getting outside with my 8.5, almost 9-year-old wiener dog, who likes to come pretty much everywhere with us, and just getting to enjoy some family time. I'm really excited about this year. And then something that I'd love to share with you all that's a bit surprising about birth, postpartum, or pregnancy. I have to say there's so much. I would say expectations, or what you think this life phase, typically changes quite a bit. Be compassionate on yourself, prepare yourself for the unexpected, and set yourself up for success with having great people around you, having people that you feel comfortable with when maybe you haven't brushed your teeth all day or brushed your hair and probably smell a little weird and you're in pajamas. Those are the people that you want to have around you. And don't focus too much on planning, just focus on care, having people around. So that's about me. I look forward to meeting a lot of you throughout this session. And I'm going to pass the torch to the next team member. Oh, Amanda's next. Amanda, go for it.
Thanks. Hi, everyone. I'm Amanda Kennedy. I am a postpartum doula with Helping Hands. Why I became a doula is, I always feel like it's a long story. My children are 10, 12, and 14. And when my first one arrived almost 15 years ago, she'll be 15 this summer, I was here alone with no family other than her father, and all our family was on the East Coast. And we didn't have any friends that had had babies yet, and just no support really around us. And I remember thinking, it would be really great if someone just came and sat here with me. And I just wasn't alone in the middle of the night doing this. And then, and just all the questions I had and trying to figure it out on my own. And it was really overwhelming for me. And then, time passed and I had 2 more children and things moved on, and then they started school and I realized I needed to find something to do to keep myself occupied again. And I started thinking about the last 10 years or so and what it was looking like, and doing some Google searching and kind of like Jessica discovering doula work through midwifery. I did, one of those great career test things and discovered it and thought, oh, there really was someone who could have come and sat there with me in the middle of the night and helped me. And that really spurred me onto this journey, and a lot of motivation from friends and family who I had unknowingly supported as an impromptu doula, so to speak, throughout those years. And I started the journey and I've loved it ever since. Just keep my list open so I don't miss anything, which kind of leads into, I guess, my favorite part about this work is being able to support families in the stuff I found really, really challenging, and helping them not have the same struggles that I had, or at least when they were going through the same struggles, they had someone there to be with them and it didn't feel the same way. I really value that time sometimes in the middle of the night when I remember feeling very isolated and alone and thinking, is this ever going to end? And oh my gosh, I got to get up again in 2 hours. And, now it's like when a new parent is going back to sleep, I'll be like, see you in 2 hours. It's really exciting to get up and be together again. And it doesn't feel so hard sometimes. And when things are challenging, you have someone to help you come up with some ideas and different things to do. And I love helping them plan for what it's going to look like. And then it feels a little less daunting because you have some ideas of things to do, and you're working towards the goal that you have as a family and as a parent, not the goal that Google tells you should have or that other parents tell you should have. And one of the things that I find really gratifying for me is being able to tell families, you need to do things your way. And what does that look like? And then helping them find that path rather than, well, my mom says that I should be doing this, or my best friend did it this way. And it might be a great solution for you, but it also may not work for you, and helping you realize that you can do it your way and that'll work too. A funny story. I think I'm on a trend with Jessica. It's always the diaper stories that are the funniest. Recently was working with a client who had a baby girl, and we were about to change her diaper, and she had peed, and that was great. We're like, oh yay, we've got a wet diaper, and we go to change it, and she decided to pee again. And mom and dad were like, how is she doing this? Because shockingly, girls can make it go pretty far just like boys can. So, it was a full diaper pad change and clothing change, and then she kept peeing. And we had a good chuckle about it. And it's another really satisfying part for me, is that I love being there in those moments that could have turned into something really stressful, because it's like, what am I going to do? And when I start laughing, because it is quite funny, then they relax and start laughing and realize this is just normal. And if it happens to her, it's not a big deal if it happens to me. So I love that. That was quite funny. What I'm doing when I'm not doulaing is looking after my 3 kids, and we just got a new puppy, which is, if you see me glancing, I'm watching him run back and forth, pulling shoes across the floor. So he's very entertaining for me right now. And I quite often think there should be puppy doulas. Someone to come help you stand outside while you're trying to get them to go pee. And lastly, something I think clients find surprising or should know about the postpartum period, and this applies to pregnancy and birth as well, is being flexible. It's great to have a plan and ideas of things you want to do, but really know all the things that are available and be prepared and willing to change course, because if you are set on something, quite often a baby or child is going to help you figure out you aren't doing it that way. And they usually have their own agenda and they're their own person. And quite often what we want isn't always going to be what they want. And being flexible and open to it will help you navigate that a lot more calmly and feel a lot better about the choices you make. And also knowing that it is really quite lonely in the middle of the night. and having someone there with you, whether it's a partner who wants to stay up and be up in the middle of the night, but quite often it's nice to have them resting so they're available during the day, or your doula that's there to help you just be with you, that it can be very lonely even when things are going well. I think that's it for me, and I look forward to chatting to you in the breakout rooms.
Okay, so our next guest speaker is Petra, and Petra's a little bit different than some of our other speakers. Well, she is a postpartum doula. What her focus is, you'll get to learn very quickly, is our resident sleep expert at Helping Hands. So she really helps with education. Well, and she'll tell you. I'll pass the torch. Go on, Petra.
Thank you, Jessica. Hello, everyone. My name is Petra, and yes, I am the sleep consultant at Helping Hands Doula. And my story is just like every other doula, I believe, is a little bit long, but I was a postpartum doula before I was a sleep consultant. And before that, I was trained as a maternity care nurse in the Netherlands. And that's how I came into North America. And not knowing what to do over here, I looked around a little bit and like, okay, maybe doulas are the way to go. And that's how I started out. I did labor and delivery, and I quickly figured out that the clients really need postpartum care, and that's really my passion. And when I was working with my postpartum clients, I realized that they were looking into sleep consulting or sleep training. And what was out there, the resources that were available were not to my liking. So I checked it out, checked out what was possible, what kind of education was there for sleep consultants. So I found my own way and got trained and certified. And the way we look at sleep is looking as a whole. We try to look at it as holistic as possible. I know this word is used for many things. What we really looking at for sleep is at your family, at your child as an individual, and how we can make it work best for everyone. So when I work with clients, their biggest surprise often is that they were surprised by how much the lack of sleep would impact them, and how much they would have loved to know beforehand. That is what I hear from most of my sleep clients. We can work with sleep with newborns up until however old children are. But when we work with newborns, it's very different than when we work with an 8, 9, or 10-month-old baby. I do not like to use the word sleep training, because all we can do is optimize the sleep for your baby. We cannot train a baby to sleep. Everybody is being born and knows how to sleep. We just need to make it work for everyone. So there are many different options how we can do that. And we can, when we are working together, we will definitely talk about that. So what I love most about it is really the education part, the helping parents setting those reasonable expectations. I love to do that prenatally when I check in with them beforehand, so that they really know, like, okay, when my baby is being born, this is all very normal baby development, baby behavior, newborn behavior, so that there are no big surprises, and setting them up for success. That's really what I love to do, like giving them the tools and the know-how of what they can do, how they can help and support their baby, and how they can use the postpartum doulas to their best of their ability, because the postpartum doulas are really the best, one of the best help that you can get after your baby is born. And they know a lot about sleep too, and they don't hesitate to connect with me when they have a little bit of a more challenging baby client that is keeping parents and doula on their toes. And they will quickly send me a text like, hey, what can we do here? So don't feel shy, ask the questions. And I think that's it for me. Looking forward to chatting with you. Any questions, I love to answer, and maybe we will work in the future. Thank you.
Thanks, Petra. Okay, so speaking of postpartum doulas, we have Sharon, who is our night queen, or she can explain what that means. But we like to call her Nana Doula around here, and she can also share why she got that title. Take it away, Sharon.
Hi, everyone. I'm Sharon, and I'm known as the OD of the office, which I think is the old doula, but no, they tell me it's the original doula. So I've been with these girls since they sort of started this new chapter of Helping Hands, and it's been about 6 years. My background before being a doula was I had my own beauty salon, nail salon, and held hands with nice ladies for about 30 years. It was getting to a point where I was thinking of semi-retiring. But my background is that I had been doulaing a doula for about probably 10 years before this. And that is because I have a doula in my family. And that is my daughter. And to do doula work is very challenging because, like Jessica and some of the other ladies have said, you are on call a lot, and it's usually not 9 to 5 work. And so I was able to help out sometimes here and there, picking kids up from school or giving them breakfast, getting them on the bus, just being there to help out wherever I could. And then when Jessica and Chrissy were needing some extra postpartum care, they talked to me, and I got involved in taking the training. And I have to say, I have loved every minute of it since. It's just amazing to be with the families, be with the babies, snuggle these little ones. And I really do enjoy what I do. I think it's amazing. I am definitely a night shift doula. I like the nights. I like it when it's quiet. I like having that one-on-one time with usually the birth parent, talk about things, talk things out, show them different tips and tricks, work on feedings and stuff. And I think the thing that I notice the most is that most families are very surprised at how tired they are postpartum, and that they are not prepared for that at all. They spend a lot of time doing prenatal classes. They spend a lot of time in labor and delivery, but they don't spend a lot of time thinking about the postpartum period, which is really exhausting for most families. And so it's just really nice for us to be able to come in and, take a hand to the parents who are just so tired, and just offer them some quality sleep if that's what they need, some advice. But I think the biggest thing I like about being a doula is just being able to, the encouragement. A lot of the parents are so discouraged, and our hospital system isn't what I would consider top rate when it comes to postpartum, and even with birth stories. And so it's just nice for us to be a sounding board for them to be able to talk things out. And I love when I leave in the morning and the birth parent says, it was so great having you here last night. I slept so well. I feel so much better now. And that really makes you feel great that you've really done something to help this family. We are full of tips and tricks, and the good thing about the team is we all have our own little tips and tricks. So the nice thing is hopefully you have more than one of us to come and support you, because we all have little different ways to give you ideas. And every baby is different, every family is different. So having a few different tools in your tool bag really is a good idea. And that's what you'll find when you deal with a team like Helping Hands. We all have little tips and tricks that we can help with different things. I don't really think I have anything really funny to say. Jessica's laughing, but I don't think I have anything funny to say. I just really love this work, and it's so gratifying and really rewarding to be with families at this special time in their life. And it's really, it makes you feel so good that you are part of this time with them. What else would I like to say? I will give you one little tip that I always tell my families, and they usually always say, "What a good idea," is to, when you're doing laundry, use the laundry bag for the little mitts and little socks, and when you do wash your swaddle sack, if it has Velcro, make sure you put it in a separate bag, because everything sticks to it and you almost always lose a sock here and there or a mitten. So those are just little tips that that I find when I tell people that, they go, "Oh, what a great idea." So, and we're full of really great ideas. I just hope that that the people who are here tonight will consider having our services, because I've never left a family that said, "Oh, well, that was no good." They're always so happy to have us for the night, and I must say, the other doulas that I work with I always get compliments on the other doulas, so it makes me feel good, the team that I'm working with, because you know, people really enjoy our services and appreciate what we do. So that's it for me. I will hopefully see somebody in a breakout room, and that's it.
Thank you very much, Sharon. That was lovely. And yes, I was laughing because you have plenty of funny stories. You're my jokester that I like to joke around with. And I think families think that of you too. So next up, we've got Maria. Maria loves postpartum work too. That's really where she shines. Maria, take it away.
Hi, everyone. So happy to be here. Good evening. Hope everyone's doing well. Congratulations to those who are expecting or who just had a baby. This is a really exciting time in your life. So why I became a doula, I've always been just so drawn to babies and pregnant people. Anytime there's a baby in the room, I'm just looking at them, trying to make connections, make them smile, or just get their attention. So I just love babies, and that's why postpartum doula work is my favorite. I do a little bit of birth work as well, but postpartum, just like Sharon, I love overnights. I love supporting people overnight, making sure that they are able to get some sleep, because it is the biggest shock is the lack of sleep that you're going to have, and how often you have to get up, and it's like you're not going to get that consistent 8 hours with a newborn. And so being able to come in and support that portion of the day, some people you know, hand the baby over and say see you in the morning, and that's great. And just like Sharon said, when you're leaving in the morning and they're just so happy and they feel so good, and they're able to then take on the day and really provide for the baby. So that's a little bit about why I became a doula. I have 2 kids of my own, and so I understand, just like most of the doulas on the team, that how important support is and how important it is to have somebody there, you know, reassuring you, even just sitting with you while you're there alone feeding at night or whatever it may be, just reassuring that you're doing a good job. You know, it's so important. And so I also kind of saw that through my own experience of having children. So when I'm not douling, of course, I love to spend time with my kids. We live right by the lake, so just going on nature walks, being outside, playing sports with my kids, or just watching movies. We just watched Turning Red, which was really cute, if anybody wants a movie to watch. Some funny stuff. Yes, of course, the diaper changes are a big one. I had a similar thing happen when we were getting ready to give the baby a bath, and then baby was completely naked, no diaper, and I was transferring baby like into the bath, and she just took a big poo in my hand, and the parents were so embarrassed, and I was like, it's fine, this happens. We had to change the water, and it was nice to be able, again, like I think it was Amanda who said, just to be there in that moment, to laugh about it, and it's normal, it's going to happen. If it doesn't happen, it's often weirder, because it's just part of babies and how they work, and when they're exposed, they often do go to the bathroom. Something that I think people are surprised about or don't really think about is I think how difficult breastfeeding is. I don't think it's talked about a lot during pregnancy. And I think if we did talk about it more, people would be more prepared for what that journey is like. And I always like to say it's a learning curve for mom, but also for baby. Baby is learning. They've never had to eat for themselves before. They've been nourished through the umbilical cord and the placenta, and mom doing everything. And so I think that's a huge learning curve. So just if breastfeeding is something you're going to do, that you really want to do, just be very, very kind and gentle with yourself, with baby. There's no harm in supplementing with formula if you need a break, if you're just exhausted or in pain, or you're just not getting it. And then of course, connect with a really good lactation consultant that can give you some tips and tricks and make you feel good about what you're doing, and will encourage you. But just if the goal is to breastfeed, keep at it. Eventually it will get easier and it's a beautiful experience. But I mean, if you're gonna go with the other way, formula feeding, that's fine as well. I always say fed is best. So just remember that. Be kind to yourself, take it one day at a time and enjoy every little moment, because they grow so fast. And then before you know it, they're big people and they're talking back to you, and you're just like, I wish they were a newborn again. So yeah, just enjoy every little moment. And a doula is a really good investment. You won't regret it. It's a beautiful kind of luxurious thing in the West, but it is something that a lot of cultures have, and without really putting a name to it. We have people in our lives and some cultures and some families that, you have that doula in your family, but it's nice to have some outside support as well. Some kind of like a third party, somebody who will come in and won't be judging you or putting their own opinions on you, and just reassuring you and making you feel like you are doing a good job, because you're ultimately the best person for your baby and you're doing an amazing job, regardless of what people are telling you in the outside world and the advice that you're getting. Your way is the best way. Do what works for your family and try to enjoy every moment, even though it is going to be super intense, probably the hardest journey in your life, but definitely the most beautiful as well. So happy to meet everybody. I'll pass it back to Jessica, and yeah, congratulations everyone.
Thank you very much, Maria. Okay, and this is Amira. Last but not least, as I was telling Zainab earlier, doula Zainab is absolutely lovely and helps to support our families that are more in the West End, both of the West GTA, West Toronto, as well as downtown. Zainab, take it away.
Thank you. So hi everyone, I'm Zainab, and I'm a postpartum doula with the team. And the reason I became a doula was actually I worked in the other side of the spectrum. So I did a lot of end-of-life doula work in hospice palliative care for a long time. So I always found myself in supportive roles and like being present and being there for the family in vulnerable states. So as I was doing that work, I was naturally interested in the birth world, and I kind of did a lot of research on midwifery. And then I found that there was a role very similar to the role that I was doing on the other side of the spectrum. So I researched into doula work and became a birth and postpartum doula. And one favorite thing about my work is that like Sharon mentioned, it's very humbling and very rewarding. So I always find myself always learning so much and being able to be part of the journey of mothers and families and their pregnancy journey as well as postpartum. What else? When I'm not doulaing, I like to learn about nutrition. So I am a nutrition student, so I really like holistic nutrition and especially postpartum nutrition as well. So a lot of times when I work with postpartum clients, they might have questions around how to increase milk supply or what to eat to heal and to regain that energy. So I do work with that as well. And I love making sometimes meals for families as well. So I do like that. And also taking lots of walks and being outside. What else? Something that's funny that happened. I have so many diaper stories as well. I think Maria mentioned the bath one. That happened to me so many times. So I wait a little bit and I feel accomplished when the baby goes right before a bath time, as opposed to in the bath or after a bath, because I just watched bathe the baby. But other things, but I do find that lots of clients are surprised that the babies cannot see colors right away. So they see shades, black and white. So they're always surprised, why do they get gifts like books in black and white and not colors? And they're also very surprised that the baby changes quickly. So the appearance of the baby within a week, the baby looks very different. So they're always surprised of the growth. And so I just kind of walk through clients on those kind of information. They find it fascinating. And like many of the other doulas on the team mentioned, postpartum, not many families have a postpartum plan. And so sometimes they find it surprising that if it's challenging or it doesn't go as expected, the lack of sleep or breastfeeding support. So they think breastfeeding would come very naturally and easy, but sometimes it is a learning experience for both baby and the client. So that's something that is surprising, and they would need a lot more support around that. So it's something that postpartum doulas help with. And yeah, and that's it. And I'm looking forward to meeting everyone in the breakout rooms.
Awesome. Thank you very much. So that takes over our Meeting Us public session. Does anyone have any questions? Sometimes we have people that are super brave and unmute, but you also can put a question in the chat too. Just wait a minute or so, and if there's no questions, then we'll move into breakout rooms. So I'm going to stop the recording